Hello everyone, so this is a Sawhorse workbench. I'm just going to run through a few things. This is just going to be like a little introduction to see what it can do, its limitations and so on and so forth. So this is still experimental, so there is going to be plans. The plans are going to be free. Obviously this is going to be a video series. It's going to be broken up into about three or four videos. They'll be released obviously a week after each other, something like that, depending on how I do with the editing. I want to set this up and just talk through what I'm doing and why and what and not. Okay, so there is a left and a right, and this is just the way it's been designed, or rather designed in my head. So that is something to bear in mind when you're actually putting this together. This is a little T-section, and it gets put into place with a few pins. So the reason for this is it gives a little bit of added support. Okay, so obviously this is a top. The top's very, very heavy. I've designed it to be heavy, but also not so heavy that I can't handle it. And this is just kept into place with 4 pegs to stop it from moving, obviously sliding basically. But it does rely on weight, so that's something to take into consideration. If you are going to build this, you're not going to be able to get away with a couple of laminates. It's, you know, you're going to have some sort of substantial weight. That's the basic setup of the bench. Two you can opt to have something at the back. You could actually use this for like a 2-person bench, if you will. You could actually have another top and have it mounted onto the opposite side if you've got a 360 to it. So obviously you can have a bit of a tool rest at the back. This is especially for me because I do tend to put a lot of my tools onto the grass. So this is pretty cool, especially for me, as I've just said, to be able to put the tools on. So if I wanted to, I just put my tool caddy on there. You know, and it's kind of out of the way off the bench. If you don't want it there, you can always put it at the back of the bench underneath, and obviously you've got a clear run of whatever you might be doing. Obviously this bench does rely on weight and gravity, so the more weight you can put on it, the better. This would be pretty good if it was just going to be stationary, and you were resting tools on a shelf underneath. You could even, there'd be even room for, you know, to keep your materials off the floor. I'm just going to go through a few tasks here, give you a little bit of a demo of what it can and can't do. Obviously, as I've just said before, this is experimental, so you know, you've got to bear that in mind. Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of planing. So something about the front. This is an inch thick of ply. To be honest, if you intend on using the whole fast on a regular basis, you are probably better to add some material on the inside of this, even maybe another like ½ inch, get it cut and just glue it into position, and then, you know, just drill through. That's probably going to be better, but I'm not overly sure what I'm doing with it yet. I did actually get some track saw clamps, basically just because you can get them through. So, you know, I might have a mess around with them before I start adding material to the inside, so that's something to bear in mind. For longer pieces, it's, as you can see, it's not really too much of an issue. Just get them in place, or get the board in place rather. So that's pretty easy. So what about shorter pieces? So what I'm going to do here, and this is just only one solution, there is no more of solutions for this, but I did want to cover them. Another way would just be to use these track saw clamps. They actually get quite a good hold. I'm quite surprised because they do actually look a bit flimsy, but they're doing quite a decent job actually. Another method, what I'm thinking about doing, or actually a bit of a build, I'm actually thinking about making a movable vise, and the idea with the movable vise is to actually fit it into place with a pin, and it can be located wherever there's a dog hole along the length. Obviously you could do it on the side as well. But I'm not sure if I'm going to build that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. If you just want to see that build, let us know in the comments. Okay, so now I'm going to touch on clamping at the front, using this as a kind of vise. So it's actually not too bad, but there is a bit of movement, and I think this is because I haven't added extra material onto the back of this ply at the front. So there is actually a little bit of vibration, but that's obviously because the clamping points are so close together and they're quite far away from the from where I'm cutting, basically. So I mean, if we wanted to, we could actually just clamp these with just with regular clamps. It's not too bad that way either. Okay, so just to make a point, obviously this is a pull saw. I'm pulling this way to cut the material, so this acts as a pivot, and this one down here is actually stopping it from moving. So the only way it can move forward, which it might a little. A little bit face planing. One thing I incorporated into the Sawhorses was this reel here. It's just another stretcher per se, but obviously this stretcher is lower and this is higher. The reason it's higher is because it's actually parallel to this face, which means it actually can clamp things to it. And the idea behind this was so I could use it in the same fashion as a moxon vise, and with it being so wide, I can actually fit you know, several glued up boards, which I often do if I'm going to make a dovetail blanket chest. So once it's clamped into place, obviously what I've shown you, this is just with very minimal experimentation. So obviously as the days, the weeks and the months go on, I'm probably going to be doing an update video just to see how I'm managing with it, problems and whatever else. So one of the ideas behind these Sawhorses was that so they could be used independently, so they didn't have to rely on the bench top. So the same thing with dovetailing, obviously we haven't got the weight of the bench, which obviously the thing's free to move. so you're going to have to use your own weight. So as you can see, it's not too much of an issue to dovetail with this, and that was the whole point of designing it how I've designed it. Something else that I wanted to be able to do was for shorter pieces to actually get them up to height and be able to edge plane them. So that's what this lip's for. So basically you set your piece on, put it against the pin, and just clamp it. Same again, you're going to have to apply some weight. Same again, it is doable, it is possible. Obviously we have got the front. I'm not going to go over the front because I've already covered it. It's going to be the same sort of thing again. If you do use the front, you're going to have to apply a bit of weight somehow, whether that be putting your foot on the stretcher or actually sitting on the top. That's a little demonstration of some of the things what it can do. Obviously it does have its limitations. As I said, it does require some weight. So just a disclaimer, this is not to replace a £400 workbench. It will never ever be as good as a £400 workbench. But what it can do, what a £400 workbench can't do, is be transported by one person rather easily. And that's the whole point of why I've built the thing. So bear that in mind if you're all wanting to build the thing. As I said, there's going to be 3 plans. So following episodes in this series, if you will, I'm going to build the Sawhorse and go over the bench top. And as I said, if I get enough interest in the removable vise, I will do that. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, maybe. But I'm gonna be posting the videos soon, so don't forget the notification bell.